There is something that your daddy and I...
There's something that Mummy and me want to...
We want to talk to you about. It's a bit serious, though.
I didn't know you could do press like this. I didn't know that you could say something outrageous, then be like, cut. Please don't cut this.
No, you must.
Let him punish. He'll never do it again.
I will. That's the problem. I'm insatiable when it comes to stupidity.
What's happened to my underwear?
Oh, I literally have no idea.
So sorry, but do we know each other?
Yeah, no, I ran you over. Sorry.
So I love this movie. I saw it in New York before coming here, and it made me think of something I remember Michelle Williams saying about Blue Valentine, that she would have to remind herself that there wasn't this period of life where she was married to Ryan Gosling. I mean, I would think experiencing such a spectrum of life as actors together, it would feel like some kind of genuine, real experience that you guys had together.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And I think that's the beauty and the privilege of making a film like this with an actor like this, is that we both wanted to really lean in and dive into that experience and be vulnerable to it and to each other. And that's a courageous and rare thing, and I'm eternally grateful to this person for that. And I feel like I went on a retreat recently, and I came out, I was like 6 days in the woods without a phone, and I came out and I sent Florence a message because I just felt like compelled. You know, when you reconnect with yourself, you reconnect with a bunch of stuff that matters to you. And I was just like, man, I haven't let Florence know for a few months how much this film and this time with her meant to me. I just wanted to share it. So it does feel like that. It feels like there's that period of time, and this will just live in my heart forever.
Also, it's like so this is our second day of press, and yesterday was our premiere. It's like we've been given this opportunity to talk about how that experience made us feel, and whether we were on set, in character, or off set, learning more about each other. It was such a huge time, personally, for me, and I know that whether we've been talking about it, it was a really wonderful experience. But we're now able to actually acknowledge just how beautiful and how wonderful that was, which kind of also lends itself to the point of the story, which is that we don't have that much time, realistically, and to be able to actually honor what we went through last year and to be able to actually give it credit for how incredible it was feels equally as apt as what the movie is trying to tell you, which is that, like, we are here to love and be loved and to enjoy this right now, because we don't know how long we've got. And so it feels really beautiful to be able to do that a year later and shine a light on and how magical that experience was.
I've loved you both as actors for a long time, and you both have done a wide variety of things, but sometimes it includes wearing masks and wearing different costumes. And you're both so unadorned in this film in a lovely way. I would think that would be maybe like part of the appeal of it, or maybe something scary about it.
Yeah, I think a bit of both, right? The vulnerability is what we kind of, I don't know, unconsciously long for, and then when we're faced with actually having to do it, it's, oh God, now you have to actually then do it. But I think as actors, or the type of actors we are, maybe, that is the most appealing thing. And I even though I might personally kick and scream as I'm taken to the guillotine, in a way, I once I get to the actual the place where I'm going to be dismembered, it's like I'm so glad I chose to be dismembered.
The guillotine now makes me think of the haircutting scene. I mean, there's a nakedness to this kind of movie, right? I mean, you have to be pretty raw as yourselves, or as your characters. I mean, how did you feel about it?
I was ecstatic to lend myself to this role in that way. I really love feeling all parts of a character. I really love knowing them fully by the end of a movie. And there was a portion of this movie that I was just dying to get to, which was, I want this to be gone now. So I know how she feels in these scenes that I've read in the script and thought about, but I can't imagine what that feels like yet. And so I was very, very, I was never scared of it, and I felt like it was an honor to be able to do that for a movie like this and a character like this with John's direction, and it never felt like it was gratuitous. The scene was always honoring how actually unique and special that moment is that these two characters wanted to create for their daughter. They didn't want it to be scary. They didn't want it to be a hard moment to overcome. They really wanted to enjoy the action of all of them getting rid of her hair, which was just such a beautiful thing to read. And I remember being so excited to shoot it when I read it for the first time. And it really did feel like we were able to achieve that. And I loved that day. It was a very powerful day. So many people after we shot it, I don't remember if you remember, I went back to Chessie, and Chessie was just completely weeping. She was like, I don't know why. It's just, it was so beautiful to watch you guys do that, and now it's gone. And yeah, there's nothing better than having something to really put yourself further and further into a character, and that was definitely that for me.
I kind of feel like whenever people talk about chemistry between actors, like nobody knows like how to talk about it. I don't know how to talk about it. Do you guys know how to talk about it? Do you have
learning.
Trying to figure it out, yeah.
Do you have a sense when it's happening?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call it chemistry in the moment. I would call it just presence. Like, I think the purer the presence, the more energy gets created, and the fewer distractions there are, the more energy that gets created, and the more synapses get connected across space and time. And it's about intention, I think, as well. I think we both showed up. We just happened to have similar intentions, I think, as actors on set, similar longings that just happened to dance well together. But you can't predict it. Well, I knew that Florence was a magnificent actor, but that's all I knew. I didn't know whether we'd work together well. Neither of us did. I think we both hoped that it would go as well as it did, but you never know. But to be honest, for me, it exceeded my expectations. I haven't. It's an incomparable thing. There's no way of comparing my experience with Florence with any other experience I've had. It's absolutely its own singular thing. And watching the film last night, I felt that. I felt, this is weirdly, I said it to Florence last night, I was like, oh God, it's weirdly, in a way, one performance. Like, it's like Siamese, it's like we're stitched together. Like, there's no film, there's no story.
There's no one without the other.
Yeah, and sometimes that can be codependent, and other times it can be healthy. But either way, there's a beauty to it, and it's like that divine third thing that two people can create, and I feel like that's the character. It's the third thing that is created between them.
And, you know, we were willing and wanting to do that for each other. There's plenty of times when you're willing to do it and someone isn't, and that's also fine, because you can also create your own chemistry with yourself, I suppose.
But it's so much more hard work.
Yeah.
And it's just much less fun to just like self-pleasure.
But we were totally wanting to do this experience, this dance, this make-believe, this we wanted to enjoy it, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that was so exciting. Equally, I've never had this happen before in this way, and we've literally spent the last 2 days trying to unpack it, and everybody wants us to unpack it with them, and we don't know. And I think, like, us being able to now talk about it and go, yeah, that was fucking mad that we did that in such a short amount of time, and when we finished the movie, every scene that got closer and closer to the end, it became harder and harder to process that we weren't going to do it anymore, and we weren't going to be in this world anymore, and we weren't going to be Alma and Tobias anymore, and we weren't going to learn what happens next for them. It was like it was becoming more and more final.
Finite, yeah.
And that did take a long time for us to also like unstick ourselves.
Yeah.
And also knowing that was it. That in the same way that Tobias and Alma have their story, it's time to shut that door and let them be in that moment, in that 10-year story. But what an amazing thing that we got to create in this crazy world right now, that we got to just truly make a story about what makes the world go round.
And you know what you just described, it speaks to the themes of the film and the whole setup of the intimacy that we create with each other in life will have an end. No matter what. And we're not very good at doing that end consciously. We're pretty rubbish at it. We're good at denying and being deluded that things are meant to be on this plane forever. I think there are certain things that are eternal. There are connections that are eternal, just not on this plane. But I think one of the things I really appreciate about what you just said is we try to consciously go, close it and like thank each other for the experience and like bless each other and like honor each other and really rich. And I think like something so sacred. Every relationship is sacred. Every deep intimacy is sacred, and I think it's such an amazing thing and a brave thing to do, to be able to actually address it and go, this is over now. We're ending this now, much like Tobias and Alma have to do. So I think it all becomes life, art, imitation, or whichever way around.
You have these like cosmic themes in mind, and then, what do people talk about before they see this movie? The horse. I mean, are you?
Yes, thank you.
Do you hate the horse? Are you happy?
How
for
do
the horse?
you feel about the horse?
You know what? I was just so grateful that it's actually not in the movie.
It is in the movie.
No, it's not.
It was there.
It was not. The head of it was. The eyes weren't. I was waiting for it.
It was there. I'm
When?
sorry. In the scene where we're on the thing.
I don't think it was.
I promise you, I saw it.
I heard you laugh, but
I
it
saw
wasn't
it.
there.
It was there for a flash. It was absolutely. Am I wrong?
I don't think it was in the movie, babe.
Baby.
I really don't.
This is undebatable.
Okay.
You rewatch it.
Okay. I remember being really glad that, okay, maybe it wasn't in it as much as that picture was.
But there was a...
Sure.
No, it wasn't
yeah. But I just was so worried when it went like that on the internet. I was like, that is such a... No, it was hilarious and it was funny. I was just... that moment, that part of the movie is my favorite part of the movie.
Oh,
when
right,
they're like, okay, let's go. Let's go on a date. Let's have sex. Let's get pregnant. Let's just do it. We have...
And then the horse steals
and I was just so worried that
horse would steal your
amazing, gorgeous, like glittery moment was gonna just like be on by this horse meme, which was hilarious, sure, but I was like, no, not at that point in the movie. So I think last night I was so grateful that it wasn't like...
No, it wasn't prevalent.
No, it wasn't doing the thing that it does in that picture, which ruins it.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway.
Man, I love the horse meme. Honestly, I remember, so this is ridiculous. I was about to go into a retreat for like 6 days where I would not have my phone. And I was, I saw this image for our film that had been released. And I noticed the horse. And I was like, whoa, that's a interesting choice. I don't know if I approved that. I'm pretty sure Florence wouldn't have approved that.
You know it wasn't approved. It got leaked.
Yeah. So I saw that and I was like, oh, that's a choice, man. Okay. I'm sure I'm the only one that's going to notice it. Turned my phone off for 6 days. And I'm in the departure lounge back from wherever I was. And I turned my phone on finally. And it's just... Horse meme. Like, I was wrong. People noticed it. And then Colbert noticed it. And, like, did a whole monologue on it. And honestly, I was crying with laughter.
I love The Shining. I love...
Alien.
Oh, my God.
Sigourney.
It was brilliant. I will give it. BoJack Horseman.
The BoJack Horseman. And then the one where it's like all of us have the horse face.
Yes!
In the thing. I have them saved. Like, some of my favorite ones I have saved.
They are good. They are
Actually,
good.
I'm not going to open my photos right now.
What's on your photo?
Just lots of dick pics. My own. Cut this out. But...
That's all.
I didn't know
That's
you could do
super
press like this. I didn't know that you could say something outrageous, then be like, cut.
Yeah. So poetry and ethics all in
Listen,
one.
it's this absurd to the
What's more
sublime.
absurd
I
is the
don't
fact that
know.
they're next to your horse picks, so.
Yeah, I know. It does look like the ratio's off.
Andrew.
You set me up.
I think the more
This is all carnival.
Did you just hear our publicist's sigh?
Definitely my publicist, not
Please
yours.
don't cut this.
No, you must.
Let
cut
him
it.
punish. He'll never do it again.